Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our admins. Strange things do happen in this world. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? So I once worked for this other pastor. This pastor, the way that I started working for him, he was actually dating my own sister. So this pastor, he was a married man, yet he was dating my sister. My sister was also a married woman, but it pains me a lot because of the way that she passed away. When my sister passed away, I thought that maybe this was just a natural death. But after that, when I started to work for this man, like when I was really close to him, when he thought that he finally trusted me, I saw that this man, he was not a man of God, no, but he was like very evil, a man of Satan himself. So what would happen was that since I was his personal assistant, he always gave me this other phone when he would return back to his place, and he would say, I want you to speak with ABC. Then I will start to speak with those people, and I used to think that these people, they'll be requesting like your normal prayers to the pastor, because most of them, I knew them because they were your married women, and some like they were your young ladies that were in university and stuff like that. So the way that they used to communicate with me, they would have already spoken with the pastor, and I never suspected anything. But this men and these women, they would use like what they call a secret language, and I kept on giving the pastor, forwarding him the messages. So one day there was this other lady who thought that maybe the phone was with the pastor, but yet I was the one who was with the phone, because the way that she greeted me, I responded, and I didn't know that the way that I had responded, I was actually giving her the go ahead as if I was the pastor who had the phone. So this lady then told me that she was in bed with her man, and there was something that she wanted to send me. And I said, oh, well, let's see. Maybe there is something that is going on at her place that she wants to show to the man of God. To my surprise, this woman, what she had done is that she had actually taken a video of herself just showing the pastor her breast as well as her private parts. This was like a shock. It shocked me a lot. Then the following morning, I then confronted the man of God, and I told him, and I said, this is what some of these women are doing. I think that you need to tell them that sometimes I'll be the one that will be having your phone, and I think that when you are preaching, you need to tell these women that the things that they are doing, they are quite wrong. But to my surprise, this pastor then laughed, and she said, oh, so you did not know? And I said, no, what? And she said, if you do not know, then things are going to remain that way. Then this man, he got up from where he was sitting, and he came to the place where I was sitting, because I used to have my own office desk where I would do my job in his office. This man, he was a manipulative man and an abusive man, and he had a powerful support network. He always wanted me to dress, like wear very tight clothing. He always wanted to know what I'll be doing when I was not at work. That is the way that he was. But on that day, he showed me the other side. He came to where I was sitting. Then he started to massage me, to give me a massage. Strangely, I then felt so good. This was after he had said, kiss my ring. These pastors, they are always having these rings that are quite funny. And most of these rings, they are quite the same. But this pastor's ring, it had something that looked like a black diamond or something like that. When he told me to kiss his ring, so I ended up kissing his ring, and I enjoyed the massage that he was giving to me. And that was when I started to sleep with this pastor. Mind you, at that time, when I started to sleep with this pastor, I had already gotten married. Me and my husband, we actually had our own wedding in that same church. But this man, he knew very well that he was sleeping with another man's wife, but he did not care. It pains me a lot, because at that time, I thought that I was very special, for he made every woman that he slept with to feel very special. And I thought that he was a man that we had been sent to me by God. And before I knew it, I was actually begging him to give me a child. I treated him like he was a god. I actually thought that I was going to heaven because of the things that I did. So many times when he was on top of me, he will say, do you want to go to paradise? And I would say, yes, I want to go to paradise. That is how much these pastors will actually manipulate you, because we were actually committing adultery, but the man will be telling me about the goodness of God when he was on top of me. This man, when he was busy preaching, all that he could talk about was prosperity and encouraging people to seed. My brother, this man took people's money, and what pained me the most was that we were actually sincere. I was the one who was actually giving him money, and this money I used to place it in an envelope. After he would have paid me my salary, then I would take my 10%, and after taking my 10%, I would then take a portion of my salary. Before I would have gone back home to show my husband that this is my salary, then I will give the pastor back the money, and I'll say, thank you for making me to feel very special. I thought that I was special because this man, he was always surrounded by a lot of people. So I thought that out of all these ladies that attended at his church, I was actually the one that he had chosen. I thought that I was doing his wife a favor, for I knew that the pastor's wife was someone that was really prayerful. So I thought that most of the times she won't have time to sleep with her husband. So this was like a holy duty that I was doing, a holy bedroom duty. Then when I fell pregnant for him, that was when the truth started to come out. Little by little, the truth came out. There was this other lady who had struggled to conceive for a very long time, and she had finally came to our church. She came to the pastor, and when she came to the pastor, mysteriously she managed to become pregnant. Then she gave birth to a baby boy, and the entire church was really pleased, and they praised the pastor for being a man of miracle. But the truth was that this pastor was the father of this boy, because after all, I then started to suspect, because there was this other day when I just felt like I wanted to go to see the pastor, because he had given me this other off, because the pastor had actually given me a leave, and he said, since you are pregnant, I do not want you to come to work each and every day, but when you are pregnant, sometimes you just feel like you want to be with the father of your baby that you'll be carrying. That is what I felt. After my husband had left for work, I then quickly bathed, and I wore some clothes which were very attractive, because I wanted to make love to the pastor on that day. I then went to the church. When I went to the church, like always, it was really quiet, because this pastor, what he will do is that he did not allow anyone to come to church, to the church building. He did not allow anyone to come to the church premises during the week, because he wanted to do most of his evil stuff. This I later found out. So I arrived at the church premises. I went straight to the pastor's office. I saw things that broke my heart. This woman, she was busy fixing her skirt, and the pastor was smiling at her. And I knew that these people had finished to make love to each other. And after this woman had gone out, I started to cry. I cried so hard, but this pastor manipulated me for a very long time. He came to the place where I was busy crying. Then he started to kiss me, and I kissed him back. And I asked him as I was crying if he had made love to that woman. And he said, why would you think that I'll ever make love to such an ugly woman? Look at your beauty. You look like an angel. You are the one that my heart desire. I cherish you. I love you. As he was holding my tummy, and he said, we are having a baby together. Why would I want to sleep with another woman? Then I cried even more, but with joy. But I then approached this woman one day, and I said, you are pregnant and I am pregnant. Please, can you tell me, this baby of yours, what really happened? And she said, why do you ask? And I said, can I take you out for lunch? We then went out, and I said, I saw you that day. You were busy fixing your skirt, and there is no one who can start to fix their own skirt when they are in the pastor's office. Is this child that you are carrying the pastor's child? And she said, God forbid, that will never happen. This child belongs to my husband. And I said, do you see my tummy that is growing? This baby belongs to the pastor. When I told her that the baby that was growing in my womb belonged to the pastor, this woman broke down. Then she started to cry. She cried so hard, and I immediately knew that indeed she was sleeping with the pastor. This woman did not give me the full details to her story, but I just knew that this is what had been happening. After that, that was when I realized that inside the pastor's office, there was this other clay pot that was inside these other drawers where he used to keep a lot of books. This pastor, mind you, in his church, he has 2 books, and in these books, there are names of people that come to his church. Anyone that has ever stepped his or her feet in that church, your name will be written down. What I saw was that there were 2 books, and in the middle of those 2 books, there was a clay pot. So then the other book, it had the actual net worth of each and every person that had ever attended his church. Most of the people that came to that church, if they were rich, they ended up being poor, really poor. He actually forced this other couple to sell their car to his own daughter. This is how much this man was cruel. When I was digging around, my sister was dedicated to this other Persian god, and the way that this pastor wrote, I could not even read properly. That was when the pastor walked in back into his office, and he looked at me only once and he said, "Please, can you get out of my office?" That is how my relationship with that pastor ended. And what pains me the most is that I have his child, and I can't even take care of this child alone. And I know that even if I try to go around telling people that I had a child with this pastor, then it is going to be the end of my life, because I saw records of women that died when they were pregnant for him. And I suspect that this pastor was the one who actually had these women killed. Maybe they had gone to him to fight with him, to tell him that they wanted to expose him. Some of them, they were your young women that were as young as 18. Some of them, they were like your married women. That is the things that I saw in his office. Your dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by our admin. Strange things do happen in this world.